Hello, Facebook Live. Hello, Marcus here. Jamie just was here. Her and I have been working all morning. It is now 1 o'clock. We're gonna get out, I think, to Sam's Point and enjoy this beautiful day and take the border collies out for a hike. I'm just gonna log on over here to Facebook on the computer so I don't miss any comments. And for some reason my computer's not charging. So let's see, it is Tuesday, and I think it might be like the last amazing day of the year weather-wise. Supposed to rain tomorrow, warm but rain, but it looks amazing out. And so Jamie and I are going to take the rest of the day off out here. So we are off today because, or technically we're off, we're closed today on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We closed on Tuesday starting in September, and Wednesdays we've been closed for many years. We've been closed on Wednesdays, and but we get work done anyway here while we're here. So I'm just logging on the Facebook. Hello everybody who's tuning in. I think Greg, you're off today, Greg. Thanks for everybody who's tuning in. Yvette, Heather, John, Sherry. So Jamie and I have been busy working since like 8 o'clock this morning, nonstop, with our Finger Lakes trip. So we are planning a trip to the Finger Lakes January 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, Friday to Sunday. 16 people, that's it. That's all we can take. It's a little more work than we thought, even just going to the Finger Lakes. All the logistics right now, especially some wineries are nervous, some wineries don't have enough room. So it's a matter of picking the right wineries to pull this off. We have a lot of our favorite wineries. A lot of our favorite wineries that we love in the Finger Lakes, and we've been going to the Finger Lakes for years, Jamie and I, since we first opened in 2004. I think was our first trip to Finger Lakes wineries. Jamie went to school in Cortland, which is right there, but back then we never really did the winery thing. There weren't many wineries out there to begin with back then in the early 90s, mid 90s. Finger Lake wineries have been around. A lot of them, not a lot, but a few of them have been around since the 70s, and maybe a few before that, the founding wineries up there. They're making some amazing wine. So one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to pick the route, the best wineries, and we spoke to, as we're speaking to more and more wineries, and we're speaking to limo companies and things like that, and tour companies that can help us pull this off. Most of the wineries, like that, we said we would be lucky if we could find a limo company or a bus company that would actually want to go on our itinerary. The same thing happens in Italy. What happens is when you call these companies, they basically have their favorite wineries, their favorite routes that they already have set up, and a lot of times it's for monetary reasons. People get kickbacks and things like that, and this happens all over in the tour business. You just have your favorites, and they just go to them over and over. So doing a custom tour like Jamie and I do in Italy and Spain, and now here in the Finger Lakes, takes a lot more work to do because we actually have to plug in every single part of the trip and make sure, as opposed to just duplicating a cookie cutter that somebody else has been doing over and over and over again. So that's the cool part, is that we really get to do our own itinerary. And we're on the phone today with several more vineyard owners, not several more, but a few more vineyard owners. Hotel. I added some more things onto the website, VIPwineryvacations.com / I think it's Finger Lakes or something. You can go to our page and onto aromatimebistro.com, hit the Italy tour page, and it'll take you, and you can click on and follow through. There's a lot of wineries that are listed up there. There are the hotel that we're staying at up there. The dates are posted. The only thing we're doing now is waiting for the final prices to come in. All the wineries know what we want to do. We've spoken to all of them, so we're just waiting for the final prices to come in. Some of the wineries have their own standard flights, like Fulkerson Winery, for example. They have a sweet flight, they have a red flight, bold red flight, they have all these different flights. So Jamie and I, instead of getting the standard flights, we have to now customize the flights that we want our guests to have. As opposed to just doing the regular flights and then I may be adding more onto it. So it takes a lot of putting the pieces together. And a lot of people have said to us, count us in for this trip, but what's the price? Well, this is the issue. There's a lot of final pieces that there's a lot of the final pieces we just have to get together to make sure and then put that price out there. Of course, we want to make it as affordable as possible. It's going to be on the weekend of January 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Plan is everybody drives up to Watkins Glen. Then you meet us in Watkins Glen. We have an opening reception from like 5 to 9. We'll have an opening reception. So we realize some people won't be able to get up there at 5. Some people will get up there by 8, 9 to 8:30. So Jamie and I are renting the big suite that is in the hotel there, and we'll have the opening reception in our room in the suite. It separates off, bedroom separate, and there's like a little conference room in the suite. We were up there last week checking it out, and they're going to rearrange the suite for us based upon that. And we're trying to get one of the last pieces of the logistics here is we're trying to get one of the wineries or distilleries down into the room to do a tasting with us. There's so many wineries that we want to see that we just can't fit them all in the weekend. So the Friday night reception, we're going to get a couple one winery and maybe one distillery down into the hotel, and from there we can do a little reception with them, a little meet and greet with the distillery, like Brian from Mackenzie Distilling, Hudson Finger Lakes Distilling. Have him come down there. Maybe we're just trying to piece all that in together. That's what's taking the last part. So we'll have a final price on this by the end of the week. If you want to go to the Finger Lakes, drop a comment with us. There is a snow date. It's 2 weeks after. I have a funny feeling that since we can only bring 16 people, we're probably going to do 2 weekends in a row of trips, and then the snow dates would be the opposite 2 weekends of that in February. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen, is we're going to be able to book 2 trips. We have people that are emailing us and messaging us already. You know, we're 4 people, we're 3 people, we're 5 people. Count us in, count us in, count us in, which is fantastic because, again, we have not posted the price yet. So we're posting that very soon. So if you are interested in going with us, make sure you keep following our Facebook Lives, our emails. Make sure you send us an email, info@aromatimebistro.com. Tell us you're interested, and we should have the price tag up on Friday and be able to start booking that. Let's see. Anything else that I have to say? Jamie's not here right now, so sometimes I forget all the things that are on a list to say to everybody. Oh, yeah, so something that I wanted to talk, and I guess I should have done a separate live for this. Some of you know that in the past we've been planting trees for every bottle of organic spirits that we buy. The last time we planted trees was in May. With COVID, we got very busy this summer here, being short-staffed, Jamie and I working a lot of hours, that we really didn't have a chance to, at the end of every month, go on and donate to plant trees. We've been keeping track of everything, just haven't had the opportunity to do it. So we pushed it off. So I went on yesterday, November 9th, and planted a bunch more trees. I'm going to do a Facebook Live on how many trees we've planted since May. We're hoping to obviously outperform last year. Last year we did 550 trees we planted, I think 557. I don't know what it was, but 550 trees we planted last year. For the environment in the U.S. to be able to maintain the environment, sustainability, they say we need to plant almost 1 billion trees a year in the United States alone. That's a lot of trees. If all 600,000 restaurants that were out there did their part and planted trees, that number would be much smaller. I think it'd be like 1,000 or 1,500. I don't know the math on that exactly, but it'd be about 1,200, 1,500 trees. If somebody has a calculator to do that, I'm just guessing at that number. We did 550 trees last year for the restaurant, and so what we do is every time we buy a bottle of organic spirits, so a bottle of organic vodka, a bottle of organic rum, organic gin, organic bourbon. Anytime we buy a bottle of organic stuff, we donate to plant a tree. And last year we did that almost 550 times. This year we're at about, I want to say maybe, I got to do the numbers before this, but I want to say we're about 450 this year, 400. So even though it's been COVID and we haven't done in-dining, we're still at a decent pace. So if you were to come in here and buy a bottle of Granger organic vodka, to take home, which we're allowed to sell you all types of spirits now, thus the shelf there with everything. If you buy anything that's organic off that shelf, as far as the spirits, we plant a tree in that. That's how we figure out how many trees to plant. So that is it, folks. We're back on Thursday. Jamie and I think we're doing a Wine Time Live later. We're going to be opening a bottle from the Finger Lakes, a very special bottle. And again, folks, the Finger Lakes are just an amazing place. And the amazing part is that it's so close. To get to Watkins Glen from Ellenville is exactly 3 hours. 3 hours on the nose. And I don't speed, so that was my 3 hours. So some of you might take a little less. We're not encouraging that, but some of you know how you drive, and you probably will do that quicker. So we did it in 3 hours and 1 minute, something like that. There's over 130 wineries up in that region in the Finger Lakes. Really, really amazing if you have not been up there. The coalition, the Finger Lakes Coalition, was founded in the early 80s, I think like 1982. Some of the first wineries came on in the late 60s, early 70s, when it started transitioning from grape juice into good wines. Really, that transition really didn't happen until maybe 20 years ago. Unless now that they're making some really amazing most decent wineries up there, most good wineries up there are actually making a true method bottle fermented sparkling wine. Some of them are amazing. A lot of wineries are making what's called a Pet Nat, which is another fermented bottle fermented sparkler. Really, really cool. Sorry, my tripod is tipping. Orange wines are happening up there now. But the one thing that's really changed is the winemakers that are coming in, the new influence in the winemakers, and the new influence of wine drinkers have really elevated the Finger Lakes up to, an amazing world-class wine production area. Rieslings, of course, are the #1 produced wine up there. I think 200,000 cases of Riesling are produced annually up there. And some of those Rieslings make it on some pretty amazing get some pretty amazing accolades, including Wine Spectator's Top 100. The Cab Francs are amazing. Fulkerson, which is a winery on the west side of Seneca. Jamie and I did not get there last week. We've been there a couple of times. It's on the west side of Seneca. They actually specialize in the other varietals, like Dornfelder, Albarino, Zweigelt. They're growing a lot of different European, German grapes, Austrian grapes that grow up in that region. They're have really specialized and branched out. They make a great Cabernet Sauvignon. They make a really great 2-year barrel-aged Pinot Noir. Their Rieslings, of course, are top-notch. But they're making some really interesting things that you can't find anywhere else that are growing really good up there. We found last week that there's a couple wineries that are doing Albarino. There's a few wineries that are doing these other wines. Limburger's popular up there. So that's one of the cool things about that region up there. All right, folks, that's it for now. Jamie and I are going to Sam's Point, getting out for a hike and enjoying this beautiful, beautiful, amazing day. And hope everybody does the same, and we'll catch you soon. Thursday, when we're back open, is $9.99 burgers to go. And that's it for now. Talk to you later.